Snazzy Santa. What's up, everyone? This is Destroyer229, and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 5 Royal. Last time, we officially infiltrated Kamoshida's palace. There is a lot that is weird. That is super weird how that's set up. All the text boxes over in the top left corner. That's weird. Anyway, last time, we officially started our infiltration of Kamoshida's palace. We went through a lot of new things and old things that we didn't have a chance to discuss in the previous game, as well as go through a few of the changes, including costumes, music, and grappling hooks. In this episode, we are going to continue our infiltration. Before we go, I didn't realize just how different Mona's outfits are. So his tend to be a bit more labeled. So his Persona 3 outfit is a special Aegis outfit, which we can see right here. He looks adorable. Next is Tenny outfit from Persona 4. Then it is the Trish outfits. I don't know who Trish is, or which game that's from. Judging from where everything else is, it has to be from either Persona 1 or 2. It might be Persona 2, because there's a V1 and a V2. But, honest to goodness, I don't know. So, just kind of showing you off since Mona's is quite a bit different compared to everyone else's. Who knows? One could be Persona 1, the other could be Persona 2. I honestly don't know. Stray Sheep, but we obviously know what that is. The Korokazuka High outfit, which is still present. He looks like a warden. He gets a maid outfit like everyone else. He has his own dance wear. We saw the Burroughs and Goto outfit. So go ahead and put him back onto his Aegis outfit and we can get going. So I did mention before that the book puzzle here is a bit different compared to last time.
I'll reveal your true form. Okay.
There's a strong shadow ahead.
Okay. So ultimately, we still are on the lookout for various books that are hidden in these extra rooms. So that part hasn't changed. Ah, that's also something that I should have probably noticed, or noted. Various enemies do have their weaknesses changed. I think I mentioned this before when we got guns. But you'll recall that most enemies that had wings, aside from various forms of angels, were weak to guns. But something like Incubus is no longer weak to guns. A lot of winged enemies no longer have a gun weakness. He's still weak to fire, he's still weak to light, but he is not weak to gun. It's the same with various other enemies like Succubus as well. So, while guns are super good, enemy weaknesses have changed to reflect that as well. I don't really need a devil persona, and I really don't need Incubus. But I did want to show that off.
Okay. I can feel it.
Okay, so again, our goal is to just gather all of these books. So we start with the Queen book. Again, not really any different than how it was the first time. But kind of go around the corner here. And I can get noticed.
Right.
That enemy was really weak.
That could have gone a little bit better, but can head on into this door and we can ambush the shadow.
True form. Okay.
That was so easy, I'm yawning.
Okay, so we can take ourselves a second
How
book,
suspicious.
which is the Beefcake book.
Huh.
So that's a bit odd. Don't hide. But there are a few more things
There's
that
a
are
dangerous one up
over
ahead.
here. So we have this room over here where we have another book.
How suspicious.
Which is the slave book. So we have a queen book and a slave book.
Treasure chest.
Go ahead
spotted.
and
Must be some-
I'll
take
reveal
down
your
this
true
powerful
form.
enemy.
Alright.
And we can go and claim the treasure chest down here, which is a judge mace. So a nice weapon for Skull, assuming that we weren't in New Game Plus.
Well then.
So we have basically the same type of puzzle here.
Oh.
So we have all the volleyball team members, which are all the boys.
Damn it.
Oh yeah.
So, again, not really any different at the moment. So what exactly is different? Well, we have that there. We have this area over here. All the female students are over here. So this would be the Queen book. And then the last one is over here, which is all the stuff about Kamoshida. But we have this Beefcake book.
Oh.
But it doesn't fit.
What does that mean?
Now then. Joker.
You mean the Beefcake one? Yeah. What about it? Alright. So, we need to find a different book. Now, we checked in all of the previous rooms, so where exactly is this book that we're looking for? Looking at Third Eye, we can find it right here, in the library itself.
How suspicious.
this one is our king book.
I can see it.
So that is what we need to do with here. Now, unfortunately, we have to go through this whole thing all over again. Gotta put the king book there, gotta put the queen book here, and we gotta put the slave book in the other one. Thankfully, the game automatically takes out the beefcake book, so you don't need to worry about accidentally putting that one in and having to restart everything. And we have ourselves the same hidden room.
What the hell is this room? There are tons of pictures of Suzui in here. Wait, it's all pics of her?
Don't worry, Panther. We'll make him pay for this.
Yeah, definitely. I feel even more motivated to do this now.
I'm sure it'll feel awful, but we should search this room. There has to be something in here if he was hiding it with such an elaborate trick.
Well, by investigating it, we get the same thing that we got in the previous game.
Is this a medal?
That size and that shape. I think that's our key. Remember that round indentation we saw back near those bars?
Wait, there's something under the medal too.
Oh, it's a different map from the one we have. This is lucky. Let's take it with us. Aha! Our map's complete now!
So is it gonna tell us where the treasure is?
Yeah, look. It has to be here.
That's a weird shaped building. Could it be a tower or something?
Considering our current position, I'd say we're about halfway there.
Alright, let's hurry over there.
No. Now that we know how much we have left, we can calculate the best way to pace ourselves. Let's keep exploring, but take breaks when you need to, Joker.
Weird that he says, like, let's keep exploring, and then immediately before that said, we should pace ourselves, maybe leave and come back. Uh-oh.
What's up with that one? It's mumbling to itself, but it's not making any moves.
Be careful. If my prediction is correct, that one's a bit problematic for us.
Alright, and I'll go take care of it.
Just be careful.
Get wrecked! Whoa, what the hell?
It started moving after we attacked it. Looks like it's exactly what I expected. Once we take it down... Hey, you two, watch this! I'll cut you off!
What the? It exploded?
I'll explain later. Focus on the battle for now.
So now we have the introduction to a new type of enemy. Disaster Shadows. So Disaster Shadows will randomly appear alongside normal enemies. They will not initially attack you. They will only counterattack you once you actually begin to attack them. So, if you just attack them normally, then they will respond and counterattack and actually begin doing regular attacks. They are a bit tougher than the standard version of that enemy, But if you defeat them, they will always drop a specific item unique to that enemy type. So you saw in the tutorial that these bicorns can give you snuff souls. And when you do defeat them, they will explode, damaging all nearby enemies based on the amount of the final attack. So the more damage you do when you kill it, the bigger the explosion is. So make sure that if you do attack them to wipe them out, do it with a very powerful attack. Don't just kind of wimp out with just a regular gunshot. Otherwise, the explosion isn't going to do much to the surrounding enemies. You do have to be careful because it has to be taken down with a regular attack. An attack reflected back at it or being killed by despair doesn't count as a kill for the Disaster Shadow purpose. So make sure that you take it down with a standard attack. Now these bicorns are just by themselves. Not really much to them because they're already weakened by the explosion.
There's another one like from earlier. Haphazard attacks on it will only make things tougher for us. It's probably best to take it down fast by striking its weakness and getting it to blow up. Alternately, we could put it to sleep or make it unable to move, then just deal with it later.
So, you can also just do stuff about it like what Mona was saying about putting it to sleep. Status ailments are actually not a bad thing to use, which is really weird to say in a Persona game, considering status ailments are pretty much useless in every other game. But in Royal, status ailments are actually kind of helpful. For Disaster Shadows, you can put certain enemies to sleep in order to make sure that they don't do anything. You can also put regular enemies to sleep so that way you have less to focus on. You can also use status ailments like sleep or forget or whatever on powerful enemies. If you use those on savage enemies are a bit more susceptible to status ailments, which can be a lifesaver when you get to the later palaces. So, having certain status ailments can be super helpful to have. Which is really weird and not something I thought I would ever say in a Persona game, but here we are. Huh, that one dropped a bead. I guess the Snuff Soul and Bead are specific to this tutorial version. Because this palace actually gives you a lot of SP recovery items to help you do it in one go. Which, that's another thing I should probably add. Kamoshida's Palace is also very doable to do in a single run. Which, before, I would recommend not doing Kamoshida's Palace in one go. But considering you have time to gather sodas, you have time to get some SP recovery items, and various SP recovery things like this Snuff Soul, there's a lot that can help you get through it in a single run. So yes, it's always better to deal with Disaster Shadows first, since you can deal a lot of damage or even just take out every other enemy, depending on how big the explosion is. So, while they may look intimidating at first, they're mostly an opportunity to get free items and to help out in any other battles.
Oh!
So, yes, we do have the extra book that we never ended up using. So, where it's supposed to go is right here. This bodybuilding book goes supposed to go in this little bookshelf right here.
Yuck.
Well, if the theming fits.
Oh!
Huh?
Huh?
So for our troubles, we get a protein. Very fitting.
Yeah!
Hooray. I mean, proteins were in the previous game. They did basically gave you some extra stat boosts whenever you use them before working out, either in your room or at the gym. And they function pretty much the same way here. So, if we wanted to work out, we can use that to get a little extra boost. If not, we could also use it in a palace to restore 30% of an ally's HP. Honestly, I think they're better used for the permanent stat boost because there's a bunch of other healing items in the game, but that's just me.
Joker!
So we'll go ahead and insert the metal, pull the lever.
All right.
And we can move on ahead to the next thing that is new. So let's go ahead and skip on ahead. So now we have the battle with Archangel again.
Look! He's trying to do something! It's important to guard if you think you're in danger.
So, yeah, it's a bit of an introduction to guarding. Guarding works exactly the same. Nothing much else.
I don't see a weakness.
Again, this functions very much identically to the Archangel fight from before. No real differences, the strategy's exactly the same. And then we just go in and beat him up. Not really a whole lot. Except I can just use my gun to just do that. I don't know why, I feel like Panther's gun is just a lot more powerful than everyone else. It might be because she can hold a lot more bullets. I don't know.
Damn it.
So, again, everything else, just extra battle stuff, not really particularly needed to go over. Wait a minute. Huh. Huh.
Nice.
So yes, a little bit of a change in that sequence. Rather than putting you right where all of those enemies are, instead you grapple over to the statue to this side area, allowing you to jump down here and actually entering through here. Which is kind of odd because that door was locked before and you were kind of forced to just kind of explore around. But this time around, no, you can just leave and completely just ignore this area.
It's somewhere.
It's kind of interesting that you can just completely ignore this. But it is something you could potentially just gloss over if you really didn't want to explore. And there are a few new things that are different with this area. The general layout of it is still the same. Just kind of go up here, climb up this area, and just kind of go all the way across here. And we go up here, something to steal, some plant balm, and a treasure chest. So, chest has baptismal water. Nice. And then if we decide to go on over to the other side,
Look, a
we
treasure
have
chest.
another treasure chest. This time with an alert capsule instead of the introduction to the dirty armor. Okay, so there's nothing up there. However, there are a few more things we can just kind of look at. Go over here, go over this way, and we can snag this box. However, I don't think it's jumping down from there. Or, is it? Yeah, it is actually. We jump down here and we get access to a new treasure chest with a soul drop. Soul drop's not exactly the most helpful thing in the world, but it is still 10 SP.
Show me your
So
true
any SP
form.
recovery is good.
Okay.
Okay, so with
That was
that,
easy, huh?
I can go ahead and just climb up this way. I was wondering, it's like, can I please climb? We can go through here, kind of steal these couple of items here, and just kind of show that we can just have exited through here. Weird that both doors are there and the lock was removed, but whatever. Anyway.
How suspicious.
We have ourselves a brand new area to explore. Now, there are a couple rooms here that we can take a look into. So we'll take care
Show
of
me
this
your
guy
true form.
first.
Okay.
And we can take a look into this
That was
study.
easy, huh?
Doesn't really look like a whole lot. There's an onyx there, which is nice. And then we have this door
Oh, a treasure
with a treasure chest. just as some more sooty armor. Yay! But that's not the reason why you really want to go down this corridor. Instead, you want to take a look as to this.
That's pretty shady.
Joker.
You thinking what I'm thinking? So we can get access to a brand new area. Weird that there's just this gigantic chasm. There's something down there, but I can't exactly see what it's supposed to be leading towards. But we can head on over here and go to this vine area.
This room seems different from everywhere else we've seen so far.
Yeah. And there's something super suspicious over there.
That's... Come on, follow me.
Okay.
What is this?
It's freaky looking, whatever it is.
Just what I thought. A will seed.
Will seed?
Palaces are locations that grew distorted from their original forms due to their rulers' cognitions. When such distortions coalesce into form, this is the result. I call it a will seed.
Distortions coalesce into will seeds?
Should I try explaining that again?
Just forget it. That's a will seed. Moving on.
So, what do we do with it?
We take it. It may not be as prized as a treasure, but it's still quite the rare find. Making it ours will only do us good. I think.
Is it really okay to take it?
Nothing shitty better happen when you take it. Like some trap going off, or we all end up cursed.
I mean, anything could potentially happen, but nothing ventured, nothing gained, right?
Nice. The will seed is ours.
I guess nothing happened?
There are more of these around here somewhere. As far as I can tell, there are 2 of them left.
Huh? How can you tell? You smell them or something?
Yeah, like how dogs can... Oh, but you're a cat.
I am not a cat!
Come on. Let's go.
I just seem like a cat.
So, will seeds. Will seeds are new collectibles that you can find in any given palace. They are always found behind any sort of vined door. It's not necessarily vines, but there's usually some sort of very clearly marked off door that you can enter in. So, anytime you go into one of these doors, there is a will seed there. There are always 3 will seeds in any given palace, and you can check on your map which ones you have gotten. There is a red one, a green one, and a blue one. And once you have all 3, something will happen. What's also interesting, and what's also helps makes Kamoshida's Palace doable in one run, is the fact that anytime you find a will seed, you will recover a small amount of SP. Not just Joker, but every character will recover a small amount of SP. Any sort of SP recovery, especially in the early game, is vital. So while it can be a bit difficult to be able to do Kamoshida's Palace in one run, it is very much doable this time around, where it was almost tantamount to suicide to try to do it in the original game. So with all these extra SP recovery items, along with will seeds, it makes getting through this palace in one go super easy. And also, if you had trouble like getting through future palaces in one go, will seeds help out a lot. I mean, I guess not necessarily a whole lot, but hey, any SP recovery is good SP recovery, since it's a lot harder to recover your SP than it is your HP. So with that, we are good to basically continue to move on. So I'm gonna head down here and fight me a Baron.
Your true form. Okay.
And with that, we can get to the lock chest. Lock chest has a guilty whip. So, weapon for Panther. Alright, well, with that, we can just head up the stairs and get on over to the next area. So, by continuing to head up, we can see this area, which caused me no shortage of trouble before, is also a little bit different.
You notice?
Okay, let's go.
Right, so this area also becomes a hell of a lot easier to navigate. So instead of just being a storage area, it's actually closer to a gazebo. And you'll see that there is a grapple point. That grapple point will put you on the roof of the gazebo. And from there, you can completely bypass these powerful enemies. I'm going to go ahead and take on these powerful enemies, because I can. Okay, I think this might be a good point to try to kind of show off how status ailments can be helpful. So, status ailments function exactly the same as how they went before. And you can still get technical damage. Technical damage, again, it depends on a status ailment, but you can deal bonus damage to an enemy based on their status ailment. This all was present in the original game, but Royal very much emphasizes using technical damage in order to help take down some of the stronger enemies in the game. So, you'll see a lot more instances of utilizing, like, status ailments or things like the shock command that we saw there. Now, again, if you're doing this on a first run, do not try to engage in all these Barreths. That is a very bad idea, and you won't be able to take them down as easily as I can, because I'm on New Game Plus.
Okay.
But what's helpful with doing that is that it does allow me to go and loot the place. a little bit cumbersome to kind of go back here. Once you know, have gone up through the gazebo. Now, there's a number of things that are up here, and you can even traverse going through this area through this section over here. You can kind of climb up through this area over this way. But we're gonna be a little bit more stylish. We'll head up to the roof of the gazebo. You can jump off if you really wanted to. But, if you examine that, dude, you can get up to the roof immediately. So you can avoid quite a lot of travel in order to get up to your destination. So, if you kind of go around this way, you can climb, and this is where you would enter where you needed to go. There is also this area down here. This would have been where you would have traveled to before. So, you backtracking over this way, you can see that this is basically how we traveled over to this area in the original game. So this path is still available if you wanted to basically just take the long way. Or you can save a bit of time and just use the grappling hook and get there immediately. Either or, it doesn't matter. Both of these just take you to the same destination in the end. So it doesn't really matter. However, there is something else of worth. If you climb up here, you can go through this crawl space. This leads to another new area. So you go over here.
Oh, a treasure
And
chest.
there is a treasure chest here. With some cursed Magatamas. In addition, there's a lot of places for us to grapple to. Ultimately leading to another window.
One of Kamoshida's will seeds, huh? Well, not for long. Let's take it for ourselves.
Which takes us to our second will seed. Just to be a little bit helpful, I'll use a little bit of SP to heal up Mona. And we can take a second will seed.
Yes, that's a second will seed.
So again, looking at the map, it goes red, green, blue. That is the color combination for every single will seed in the game. It always goes in that order. So you will know whether or not you've missed a will seed if you get a color out of order. And it will show on the map which ones that you are missing, because it will always have red, green, and blue in that order. And so you'll see that there is a check mark that should be there, but obviously isn't. So if you kind of need an indication on where to look, if you've already gone through a palace, you at least have some indication based on whether or not you have those check marks marked off.
Oh, wait!
Okay, and now we have the distorted area here. Now, this one, again, is mostly the same as before. We do have this elevator that leads us down again. So, it, once again, brings us to this area here, and we can head out through that area to get us back to the main entranceway. So I'm gonna go ahead and bust through the painting, and we can grab the treasure chests that are in that area. So, 1, 2, 3, busting on through.
Huh.
You notice?
Actually...
Okay. So, spot something we didn't see before. Mainly,
a treasure
chests! So the chests are in the same spot as before. This one gives you a life stone, which isn't the most helpful thing in the world, but hey. Also, we can unlock this.
Treasure chest.
And we can get the other treasure chest that's here. The magic ointment.
Focus.
I don't believe there's really anything else here. I mean, again, you can head down to the dungeon area, but not helpful in the slightest. There's nothing for you down there. Not sure what else is... Oh!
I can feel it.
Hello, what is this?
Oh, nice observation.
Ah, okay. So that allows us access to another area. What other area? Well, if you'll remember, before there was that one area in the elevator section behind here that we could go to, and inside it would just lead to a chest with a bunch of succubi that would attack us. By the way, can't go through there.
This door doesn't look like it opens.
So, that area has completely changed. So, by activating that switch, you can call up the elevator.
Oh, I get it now.
And now, we can pull the lever and head down. This takes us to a completely new portion of the map. Remember, before, it was just a lift that led to, like I said, some succubi that attacked us, and then a treasure chest for you to claim. But now, you can get on it and head on down
Do you think
into
Joker?
a dungeon portion. This underground water area. With, as Mona puts it, where the last will seed is. What's actually funny is that this was actually kind of present in the, I think in the game files of the original version, but they just didn't end up using it. So, I don't think that's the case for any other palace, where they basically cut content into a bonus area where there's a will seed. But this one is actually kind of neat.
Hey.
Man.
So that is another thing that is consistent with all the will seeds. The third will seed, not the last one that you could potentially get, but always the blue third will seed is always guarded by an enemy. So you will need to take on a mini-boss in order to claim it. This is true for every single will seed in the game, so be prepared to have to do an extra fight. But this shouldn't be too bad for us.
Now then.
So let's do this.
What?
You know, if you thought that Mara should have been in this dungeon, well, there you go. So, guarding the final will seed is the Torn King of Desire, Mara. Mara resists all forms of magic except Almighty, which means it resists fire, electric, wind, ice, nuclear, psychokinesis, bless, and curse. And knows the skills Assault Dive and Dia. So there's not really a whole lot to this fight. Basically just attack it with physical attacks and guns. And whenever it tries to stare at Panther, make her guard. So go ahead and keep attacking. And yeah, deals a decent amount of damage. But keep in mind, it can also heal, so be prepared for that. Thankfully, unlike regular Mara, it's susceptible to gunfire. Oh, but apparently it resists guns too. That was not in my notes. Well, now you know, it resists everything except physical and almighty. Cool.
I leveled up.
At least I leveled up. And skills.
It looks so strong.
So Silky gets Dia, and that's it.
All right.
Won't be long now. Okay, so I'll go ahead and basically have Panther heal up everyone. Cut through these vines. And we can claim the final will seed.
Whoa!
They can fuse together? So you had no idea that would happen either.
No.
What if they all exploded on us?
Listen up.
I guess. So, when you get all 3 will seeds, you get yourself an accessory. You get yourself a crystal of the respective deadly sin that the palace is based off of. In this case, the Crystal of Lust. So, the Crystal of Lust specifically gives diorama to any particular person. Now, you may be looking at this list and see, well, gee, Destro, you have all of these other things that are based off the 7 deadly sins. What do all of these come in? Well, these rings are essentially enhanced versions of the separate will seed accessories. How do you enhance them? We'll get to that later. But you'll see that you have this enhanced version which does a better job at healing and even grants something bonus. So when it's enhanced, it's a lot better. But even just as the crystal itself, having the ability to have diorama in the beginning portion of the game is actually pretty good, considering it is a mid-tier spell in the first palace. So even just by themselves, the crystal items can be very helpful to have, especially since at this point in the game, you don't really have that many accessories. So, unless you have DLC where you can just give all of your party members various different accessories, you're not really going to have a whole lot. And again, the crystals all have very helpful effects for whatever part of the game you are currently in. So it is always a good idea to gather the will seeds just for that purpose alone.
Focus.
Never mind the fact that it also just recovers your SP. And also keep in mind that once you're done with the palace is gone forever. So you have to make sure that you can grab those items before you steal the palace ruler's treasure.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on, we have another locked chest. This one containing a bead. Very nice. There is something interesting over this way. Something that we couldn't really get access to before. Because grappling hooks. Go over here, grab that, has a silk yarn, and we can move on our merry little way. Over here, take down the savage enemy.
Okay. I can feel it.
Alright. We can grab this. We have ourselves another lever to pull. And that allows us to backtrack over this way. So, cool. But now we have access to the safe room right here. And even though we are pretty close to the treasure, I think now is probably about as good as time as any to call it a day. So, next time on Let's Play Persona 5 Royal. We are getting very close to the end of the palace. There's not that many new things that are available here. So we'll go ahead, finish off our infiltration, and then we'll go and steal the treasure. There are quite a few things that are a bit different when it comes to the actual bosses themselves. So any major boss fight, we are going to be showing off again because almost all of them are changed in some way, shape, or form. So we'll at the very least be done with our time here in Kamoshida's palace next time. At least I hope so. At the very least, I won't be doing what I did before and actually just going in from start. So that'll save plenty of time compared to the main series. But anyway, next time, we'll get through the rest of the palace. So until then, everyone, take care.